Hello again, welcome to another Wine with Tweedy video. Today, more English sparkling. This is Court Garden, which is near the village of Ditchling in Sussex. It's actually not far from Ridgeview. It's sort of the neighbouring vineyard to Ridgeview, which is one of the more famous English sparkling wines. I've been a fan of this for some time. This is their, I think, is it 2017 vintage? It's a sort of classic cuvee, brut white sparkling wine. People never say that, do they? White sparkling wine, but I guess it is. It's not a rosé, it's not a red. So let's open that up once again. You know, I could just do it the easy way, but instead I've got a soup ladle. This one ought to be relatively well suited because it's got this, I don't know if you can see that well, it's got this sort of nice flat metal edge. So hopefully it's just a case of making it go very smooth along the blade, the neck. There wasn't an absolutely perfect detachment. I've left quite a lot of the collar on there, but oh well. Different every time, that's what keeps it fun. Especially the times when half the bottle smashes. So let's pour some of that into here. Cursory check for shards of broken glass. One of the handy things about having green glass bottles is, you know, if there are ever any little shards of glass, they tend to show up. That has this really deep gold colour that suggests there's a lot more Pinot in here than I remember. And there's a sort of quite brioche-y, quite kind of bakery, baked goods, pastry sort of, that kind of thing on the nose. It's crisp, it's sort of appley, quite mouth-watering. And then veering a tiny bit tropical, and I think that's quite a key thing for Court Garden. There seems to be something about that greensand ridge. I don't think anyone else in the wine world agrees with me on this, nor on anything really. I did try for a while to take part in wine Twitter, and was always just roundly rebuffed at every assertion I made about everything there. Not a particularly welcoming crowd. But one of the things I noticed in common between Ridgeview, with a caveat that Ridgeview often buy in grapes from other vineyards. So Ridgeview, when they're producing wine from their own home vineyard just north of Ditchling there, and Court Garden, is this slightly tropical note, particularly there's something that the Chardonnay there manifests as, because the Blanc de Blanc express it. Well, this is a classic cuvee, so there'll be some Pinot in there too, but it's subtle, but it's there, a very slight hint of pineapple, which is fascinating to me because you get that in the two vineyards north of Ditchling, which are on a greensand ridge. It's a different type of soil to the south of Ditchling. South of Ditchling, there's another cluster there, Everflight, I did a video about that, is the new one, and the more classic ones, Black Dog Hill, and Plumpton College has a vineyard there to the south of Ditchling. So those to the south are on this chalk soil, those to the north are on a greensand ridge, and the wines seem to be very different in character, and you can't ever pin down wine people to clearly say out loud what they mean about the difference in soil influence between greensand versus chalk. But I think you get this greensand with Chardonnay particularly tends to bring out these slightly more kind of tropical sort of fruity notes, and chalk tends to make what's called a more precise, you know, it sounds like a cliche, but they do tend to be more sort of crisp mineral type wines, and perhaps not quite as fruity, but sort of interesting in other ways. Anyway, still a big fan of Court Garden. Always very reasonably priced by ESW standards. This is still under 30 quid, I think. And yeah, it's good. 2017 particularly, very nice. Cheers.